How's it going, gamers? My name is Rushcode, and today we're doing another deep dive into the Minecraft inventory system, specifically to do with stacking. So let's say here we have 3 melons, and you can actually not just put them side by side, you can grab them and stack them together with a number popping up. So we're just going to pick up from where we left off last time, which is right after looking at how items swap. If they don't swap, then they end up stacking together when you drop the same thing into a box with the same stuff. When we stack, we first need to check if there's space to stack the new item. For example, if you were to stack these 2 melons together, it'll add up to 2. And if you were to stack it with these 4 melons here, it'll add up to 6. But I cannot take this melon and stack it up with these 6 because I've set the limit for the melons to be 6. So if I were to drop this in, well, nothing actually happens. It can't drop into it. I can only put it beside it. I could pick up the 6 and drop it here, and what it'll do is just swap with the other one. So if they're matching the limit, then we won't do anything. If they're not matching the limit, that must mean that the count is less than the limit right now. So it's safe to go and stack based on what's inside the mouse. But even then, we also need to see whether the mouse has a full stack on it. And if it does, then you would just swap the items. If it doesn't, then you need to decide if it's going to merge or overflow. To decide this, you have to use a little bit of maths. So first we would figure out how many there are in total between the mouse and between what the mouse is holding and what's in the new box. We would call that total stack. Then we'd check to see if that total stack is less than the limit in the new box. If it is, then we can just merge everything together and drop it into the new box. If the total is more than the limit, however, then we need to overflow. And overflow is a very interesting concept. What we end up doing is updating the new box with as much as you can from what the mouse is holding onto until it hits the limit, and then whatever is left gets pushed back into the old box where we picked it up from in the first place. This involves a calculation where the total stack will minus the stack limit to get the remainder of the stuff, and then that gets put into the old box. If you were to make one of these for yourself, you can choose if you want to do an overflow system or not, because that is just going to ramp up the calculations even more. And if you're not really into all the math stuff, then you can make it as simple as you like, right? Things don't have to merge, they could just swap. If it were up to me and I just wanted to be really simplistic about it, I would just swap things and not care about stacks. But the whole point of this was to try and simulate the way it works in Minecraft for a future project that I want to do, foreshadowing. So I ended up with lots of nodes. The last thing I wanted to cover was this little functionality for displaying the text or the count, depending on whether it was a single item or more than one item. So this text here is connected to some kind of binding, which is a show or hide stack count. If I go into the graph, we can see it right here, show or hide stack count. And it's a simple little code where you check the stack count to see if it's above 1, and if it is, then you set the visibility. If it's not, then you hide it. And it is important to make sure that visibility is not hit testable, simply because if I were to click on another inventory item while dragging something around, it might block the functionality or block the box underneath from detecting my mouse because of the image that it's having to go through. And that is all there is to it. In the next video, we'll look at what happens when I grab items and drop it out of the inventory box, which is going to involve things like animations and trigger boxes. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Thanks for watching, guys. If you liked it, smash like, hit subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Rushcode out.